I feel the spirit moving in me. I feel the spirit moving in me.
Thank you very much. Well, did you know that Beethoven, one of the greatest composers of all time, was who was known for his musical genius, but did you know that he had a particular strange habit around coffee? Right? He made his coffee every morning, and to do so, his habit was to take exactly 60 coffee beans and to grind them down to make the perfect cup of coffee, right? Because for him, that got him connected, that got him energized, that got him into his daily routine and started the habit for him of having the perfect musician's day, got him connected to himself, to his energy, to be able to play and to write music. So today we're going to explore how, for us, seemingly tiny or small habits can help us become aware of where we are, to help us use our cranium, connect with our spirit, to be connected to the essence and the truth and the joy and the peace that we are. You know, just like each bean in his coffee made the right mixture to allow him to be the genius that he was, in that same way, each habit that we have, no matter how small, are habits that we're building through this series that we're doing based on the book Atomic Habits. We're building habits that will help to create for us a spiritual, connected life. So this series is titled Atomic Habits for Spiritual Evolution, and I'm using James Clear's book, Atomic Habits, to help us to do that. And it's interesting. This is sort of a left brain kind of book, right? And I thought it'd be kind of fun and challenging to create a talk where we connect with the intuitive aspect of ourselves by developing habits to help us forward our journey on our spiritual paths. And it's it's been a challenge for me to take these intellectual ideas and these habits and apply them in a way that affects our lives. So, you know, my intention today is for us to look at them and create some habits ourselves, for you to create some habits to help you develop your spiritual nature, your connectedness to the presence and power of spirit, of love, of light, and of God that's within you. And James Clear says that these tiny habits, consistently practiced, can compound over time to make profound transformations in our lives. And I know that by applying these principles, these habits to our spiritual life, that in the same way we can have profound transformations in our spiritual essence and our practices and our connection to all life. Don't you want that? Yeah. Anybody that doesn't want that? Oh, sorry. Yeah, you. I was talking to somebody who wasn't there because I'm assuming all of you want such a thing. Yeah. So today we're going to talk about how can we rewire our brains for spiritual bliss. So we're going to look at how can we do that? What can we do? What practices can we practice, involve in our lives to help us experience spiritual bliss? And our affirmation today is, my small habits create my bliss-filled life. And we're going to actually go through an exercise will be unique to each of us to help us to do that. And my intention with this talk today is to empower you to take practical steps to develop your atomic habits that will help you and empower you to live a bliss-filled life. Isn't that what we desire? Would you like to have some more bliss in your life? So there are steps that I've discovered, that I've created through reading this book and spending time in contemplation to help us to do that. And we're going to go through each of these steps. And the first one is we're going to discover what our true desires are, right? Because if we're going to experience bliss, we need to target what it is that empowers us to feel blissful. And the second thing we'll do is to create an intention based on those desires. And then we'll create an affirmation. Then we'll experience a visualization. And then my hope is that at the end of this, you'll commit to doing a 2-minute daily practice to incorporate the new habit that we're going to talk about today in your life. So the first step, and I'll be the example for the first step. The first step is to look at some possible desires. And I made this list of things that I believe are, for many people, things that they want, the desires that they have. For example, to be peaceful, to be happy, to be joyful, to be creative, to experience personal growth, to experience spiritual growth. And I assume because you're here that that's important for you. And to live a purposeful life, to be free from suffering, and to be healthy. So what I'm going to do by example is I'm going to pick 2 of these things and then take us through the process where you'll do the same thing. So I'm going to pick 2 of the desires that are high for me, and one of them is to be creative, and the other one is to experience spiritual growth. Right? 2 things that are really important in my life, and I find that they're things that make me get excited, allow me to feel powerful, and allow me to be present and feel bliss in my life. So the next step is so we've identified what they are: to be creative and experience spiritual growth. Those are my 2 desires that I'm going to use for this example. So now to create my intention, I'm going to combine those 2 things. And it's really quite simple, because my intention for these habits that I'm creating for my life is to be creative and experience spiritual growth, right? Just made it really simple, really easy, and hopefully really possible for me. And then the next step, the third step, is to create an affirmation that cultivates my intention, right? Create an affirmation that is true for me, that I'm going to use, that's going to connect me with my desires and, in a sense, pull these intentions out of me into situations that will create bliss for me. Now, as you know, an affirmation is a statement that is positive, powerful, and speaks directly to my intentions, to my desires, and is in the present moment. So if you think about any affirmations that you've ever used, I believe for them to be effective, they have to be related to you, be your desires, be your intention, be something that you want, and be present in this moment, right? Okay, so I'm going to take those take that my intention, which is to be creative and experience spiritual growth, and I'm going to simply put that into an affirmation, right? So in my affirmation then is I am creative and experiencing spiritual growth. And sometimes I'll add on to an affirmation to even be more alive and more present. I might say, I'm creative and experiencing spiritual growth when? Right now, right? Because affirmations have the most power if we say that is happening right now. It's like our mind, our body, and spirit kind of go, wow, right? I'm present with you now because we're affirming, we're knowing that this is going to happen right now. Okay, so now I've discovered my intention, my affirmation, and now you get to do the same thing. So I'm hoping that everybody got a piece of paper and a pencil when you came in. And if you didn't get one, you should have got a 3x5 card like this and a pencil. Is there anybody who did not get these things when you came in? Excellent. All right then. So we're going to go through the process again, but now you get to do it. So here's the list of potential desires. So I invite you to look at that list and just don't think about it too much. Don't overthink it. Just pick the two things that jump out at you right away. Is it to be peaceful? Is it to be happy? Is it to be joyful? And I would say pick one or two of them. Any more than that, it gets really complicated. And we don't want to stretch our cranium too much today. So, do you want to be creative? Do you want to experience personal growth? Do you want to experience spiritual growth? Do you want to live a purposeful life? Do you want to be free from suffering? Do you want to be healthy? And there could even be something else that pops up for you. You know, you might want to be loving, or you might want to be prosperous. So just write down those two things. And then when I see that your attention's off your paper, I'll move on to the next step. And we are in the process of creating habits that will transform your life, habits that will help you to experience more bliss, because we're going for the root of what we desire, what you desire. Okay, so the next step then is to, you should have your desires. Might be, in my example here, be happy and live a prosperous life. So everybody's written their two desires, one desire or two desires. And then the second thing we're going to do is to create an intention based on those desires. And it could be to simply say, I intend to be happy and live a purposeful life. So I invite you to put the words, the desires that you came up with into a sentence. And then you can be thinking about writing an affirmation. Now remember, an affirmation is a positive, powerful statement that speaks directly to your desires, to your intention, and resonates with your beliefs. And I'm assuming that whatever you're writing is true for you. It's something that you really want, and that it speaks to the essence of who you are and what you desire. And then you want to write this in the present tense. So you could say something like, I am happy and live a purposeful life. Again, using the two desires. I am peaceful and kind and live a happy life, whatever it is that is true for you. And to put that into an affirmation. So this will be the homework assignment I'm going to give you today will be to say this affirmation every day. And you could say it after the daily word affirmation if that's part of your morning habit. I do suggest that you do these things in the morning, just kind of set that foundation for your day. And for me, I read the daily word, I read the script that's associated with it, and then my practice will be to say this affirmation and to do a visualization that's going to be similar to what we're going to do in just a moment. Because now we're going to take the next step and do a visualization with the affirmation that you just created. So this will be in essence our meditation for today. So I invite you to close your eyes and take a deep breath. Just to breathe in and to let it all go. You might want to set the pencil down or the paper down, but just have your affirmation close enough so that you can remember it. Breathing in and breathing out. So today, through this visualization that we're going to use, we're going to imagine that affirmation that you just wrote is happening right now. And to see the affirmation as a part of your process to develop a habit, to develop an intention, and to really connect with that which you desire in your life. And breathing in and breathing out. And imagine that you are in a sacred place for you that helps you feel connected to yourself, to nature. It might be on a mountain or in a forest, in a desert. And just imagine that you're sitting there in this beautiful, peaceful surrounding, feeling connected, feeling love, feeling peaceful, feeling totally present in the moment. And then bring to mind the affirmation that you created. And maybe just to repeat it once or twice. To imagine that you are opening your heart and your entire beingness to expressing this truth, this desire. And to imagine that you are embodying this statement. See yourself living this truth. See yourself being that which you have declared. Being happy, being healthy, being prosperous, being connected. And imagine the feeling that this brings you. And allow yourself to feel it in your mind, your body, your spirit. And see yourself living out these qualities. See yourself living out the desire. See yourself expressing exactly what you have affirmed for yourself. If your affirmation is about being peaceful, see yourself being peaceful. See yourself being with others in a peaceful way. See yourself being peaceful and connected in your relationships. See yourself being in your relationships with these qualities. And then imagine that you see yourself moving through your day, embracing these qualities, these desires in your relationships, in your activities, in your work, in your playtime, in your hobbies. And imagine that you can connect into the blissfulness that you are feeling as you go through your day. Notice how you handle the tasks in your life. Notice how you speak to yourself. Notice that what you bring to your conversations is totally in alignment with your desires, with your intention, with your affirmation. Imagine that you are feeling joyful, that this attitude, this affirmation is bringing you joy and peace and love. And as you immerse in this experience in your life, know that this is who you are. This is the new you or the revised you. Joyful, connected, peaceful. Living from your heart, expressing your light. You're not just imagining, you are becoming. You're not just thinking, visualizing, you are being the essence of that which you desire. Breathing in, letting the essence of your affirmation fill you, every cell, every space, every tissue, connected as the living energy of life. breathing in. Bringing your attention back to your breath. I invite you to slowly bring your awareness back to this moment, carrying this harmony, this love, this joy, this essence, this truth with you. And I invite you to open your eyes when you're ready. That's where I like to be. So we've searched and discovered our desires. We've set an intention for that which we desire. We've created an affirmation, and we've just done a visualization. And now the next part of this is to for you to agree to doing a 2-minute affirmation and visualization every day. And you can tie that into the daily word practice that we started last week, or you can do this as a standalone process. Um, James Clear calls this habit stacking, where you develop one habit and then you stack another one on top of it. And so my suggestion would be to do the daily word, to do the affirmation we created today, and then to spend a few moments or minutes in visualizing what you want to happen. You know, it's been shown and proven with research that doing these things on a continual basis helps to implant them in our mind and really to create new neural pathways to really introduce and bring these intentions forward. And of course, it will take time to make this happen. Um, and so we want to practice it on a regular basis to make it another habit in our life. And I assume that your spiritual path is important to you, and that's why you're here. And so I encourage you to do this practice every day. And so repeat the daily word affirmation, repeat today's affirmation, then do a daily word visualization. Does anybody know who Robin Sharma is? He's a Canadian born author. He's written many, many books on management and leadership. And he has a book called 30 Days to a Perfect Life. Or maybe you've heard of The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari is one of his books, and the 5 a.m. Club. And he shares his story about being in a place in his life where he didn't feel real good about himself. He wasn't accomplishing anything. He felt stagnant. He felt like his life just wasn't working. And what he discovered his own atomic habits. And his one of his habits is getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, which has been happening for me lately, not because of knowing about him, but it just has been showing up for me. But what he did at 5 o'clock every morning was that he called it his victory hour. And so he would get up and he would spend 20 minutes in meditation. He'd spend 20 minutes doing affirmations, and then he would spend 20 minutes doing exercise. And he said, but through the process of doing all of those things, he created these atomic habits that totally changed his life. and got him connected. And as a result, he's written more than the 6 books that you see on the screen. But he's totally transformed his life because he showed up for this victory hour every morning. But the real magic of his success isn't just the books he wrote. He says the real magic is the change in the attitude, the change in the energy that he has, the change in the love that he has, the change in the connection that he has with himself to create this practice that allowed him to be so present and so loving and so powerful. So whether it's meditating in the morning for you, whether it's saying affirmations, whether it's drinking a cup of coffee, my encouragement for you today is to take on this 2-minute practice, to spend time every day working on your spiritual practice and to develop these skills that are going to pull you towards this vision, this intention of yourself to live a bliss-filled life. So it's my hope and my intention that you'll follow this journey and join me as we create atomic habits that will change our lives. So thanks for being here today. Thank you for being on this journey with me. The love and the light and the Christ in me appreciates and honors the Christ in you. So, namaste. So as you hold your love offering, I invite you to remember your affirmation that you created today. And as you hold your gift, to know that your gift to us is a commitment to be all that you can be, to be your greatest version of yourself, to experience the fullness of bliss in everything you do, without mushrooms. So as we hold our gifts, let's pray and affirm our affirmation of prosperity, which begins, through a grateful giving heart, my mind and life overflow with the abundance of God's all-providing infinite supply. And so it is. Namaste. Thank you, loving Spirit, for these gifts that come to us in love. We hold them, we bless them, we give thanks for them, knowing that they are moving through this community, across this island, and out into the world. And we picture a world filled with love, with light, with joy, and with peace. And so it is. Namaste. Thank you. All right. Well, our flowers today are offered by Lindy. We call her Lindy for her friend Josie, who is here and leaving tonight, I guess, right, for her 23-hour journey back to Germany, right? And this was the first time that you've been to Maui, right? What do you think? Did you have a good time? Did Lindy show you a good time? Every day. Well, thank you for being with us. Thank you, Lindy, for your flowers today. I hope that your journey is safe and that you'll come back and see us again.
Schöne gute Reise.
All right. And you can donate flowers on Sunday morning. Also, there's a sign-up sheet in the back. Just pick a date and write your name down and who you'd like the flowers to be dedicated to. And you can bring flowers and take them home with you afterwards. All right. And as you know, our dear friend Kachina passed beyond our eyesight last week ago, Saturday, I think it was. And so we're going to do a celebration of life for her on May 11th. And Louise and I are talking about that right now. It'll be right here sometime in the afternoon on Saturday, May 11th. So, Kachina was our choir director here for many decades. Nobody knows for sure how many, but it was a lot. And she almost 30 years, yeah. And she was a great light and offered us her gift of directing our choir. And we had so many amazing special occasions with her and many, many Sundays. So blessings, Kachina, for all you have, all you brought to us and all that you are. And let's just take a moment to send her some love. Thank you, Kachina. And so it is. All right. And if you enjoyed the talk today, you can get a copy of the Walk Your Talk, which is kind of a summary of my talk today. Might help you to practice the things we talked about. And next week, did I have that in here? Next week, I'm continuing this series. I don't see, just click ahead here. I created a flyer. Oh. Anyway, I'm talking next week about, this guy already did his bit. Let's go back here. Next week, I'm talking about how to make good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible. And so, impossible to have bad habits. And I'm going to give you some really practical ways. Some of you can probably come up with just thinking about it, but I'm going to give you some ones that perhaps you haven't thought about. And the idea being, of course, we want to practice the good habits and let go of the bad ones. So join us next week right here at 10 o'clock for that. And I think that's it. Why don't we all stand? Take a deep breath. And we'll say together the prayer for protection, and then we'll join hands and sing the peace song. So for ourselves, for this ministry, for our lovely Hawaiian islands, and for the presence of God everywhere, let's say the prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us wherever we are. God is. Thank you for being here, dear friends. Thank you for those of you watching us on Facebook. Let's join.
Where I live, they're all raised.